Baldur's Gate 3 broke me. It broke me in a way no other game has ever broken me before. No other game brought me to my knees while at the same time making me love its characters so much that I kept trying to make it work like the world's strangest toxic relationship. Cyberpunk is one of my top 3 favorite games of all time. The gameplay is a bit annoying at times, but the vast story and the depth of the world refused to let me stay away for long. I have finished Cyberpunk at least 7 times with different characters, different backstories, different needs and wants for each one of them. In one of them, we didn't even survive, and a new character took her place as the protagonist after the heist. Baldur's Gate had a similar effect on me. I played both games for the story, not the gameplay, but where in Cyberpunk the story carries the whole game, in Baldur's Gate it was just another way to torture my soul. I tried to play Baldur's Gate on 3 different occasions. On my first attempt, the gameplay prevented me from having any fun with it. Tabletop style RPGs are not for everyone. The game of chance and leveling, all the rules and classes and skills and abilities and items and perks, it's a lot and admittedly not for me. Baldur's Gate is the first game of this type I even ever tried to play. I never played D&D, I never played any games like this, and I knew before even trying it that the gameplay would be a problem. Baldur's Gate is not a bad game. If anything, it's a great game with a ton of work put into it, but it's just not for everyone. Nothing is for everyone. Well then, I tried a game that was not for me. Why am I even making this video then? Well, my first 2 attempts on Baldur's Gate lasted less than 15 hours each. My third and last attempt lasted for around 50 hours. Regardless the medium, one thing I can never resist is an interesting character. This game haunted me because it's filled with them. On my latest attempt on Baldur's Gate, I used mods and cheats to make the gameplay less painful for me. I wasn't here for the fights or the dice rolls. I was here to find the perfect die for my armor, fix Karlach's heart and give her the hug she so much craved, and finally get rid of the parasite. I only managed to do one of these things. There are limitations to everything. Although I could make the gameplay less painful for me, it wasn't painless. Looting and exploring felt incredibly straining, with everything feeling too small to see and too much clutter everywhere. At some point, I believe on Act 2, I stopped doing both. Even so, I was committed to pushing on. When I left the Moonrise Towers after killing Ketheric, I had no idea the infernal mechanic was in the area. We reached the outskirts of Baldur's Gate and started looking for the mechanic, thinking that this was the place where we would give him the infernal iron to fix Karlach's engine. But when I turned to speak to her about it, she had something else to talk to me about.
I was just thinking, for a while there, I thought there was something between us. I know you felt it too, but it blew out, didn't it? Can't capture lightning in a bottle, I guess, no matter how much you want to. No hard feelings, of course. That's life.
The flame had died down. Not hers, mind you, hers was burning hotter than ever, but her relationship with my character was over. I can't say I know why, I guess I just picked options that made her dislike me. I was devastated. Adding salt to injury, I started looking for the answers on how to fix her engine, only to learn that there is no way to do so. Her heart, as well as mine, poetic as it is, were forever destined to be broken. I did not only fail to save my beloved. Not only she never got the hug she so desperately needed, I couldn't even keep her close to me. But of course, this video is not about how my character failed her relationship with Carla. The point of me even speaking of that story is that if I had not been bored enough of looting, if I hadn't decided to not look around the last lighting because the druid woman was mean to me, if I just had pieced together that the tieflings had sought shelter in the very place I was at, if I had just noticed the smithy at the edge of my screen, then I would have found the infernal mechanic. I would have given him the metal that I was so closely keeping safe, and Carla, I would have given her a hug. She would still not be saved, of course, but still. On my latest attempt on Baldur's Gate 3, it kept me for 50 hours. Just shy of the 62 that needs to be completed. I was there. I was almost finished, and yet I could not push myself over the finish line. My problem with Baldur's Gate was not that your lover can leave you. That's normal. Relationships don't always work out. My issue was that the game is filled with options that affect the characters and the story as a whole, choices that I would be more than glad to make if only I knew how to make them. There are so many things you miss just the way I miss the infernal mechanic. Things that you have to either go back and redo or just let go if you don't want to ruin your immersion. I tried time after time to convince myself that these things happen. You never have all the answers in real life either. You miss things all the time. When I talked with the mechanic at the Grove, he told me to meet him at Baldur's Gate. That was where I was expecting to find him. He didn't know he would end up at the last lighting, of course, but still it felt like the game misled me. And it's not only this once. Time and time again, I had to go back and wonder how could I do things differently. Every choice I made in Baldur's Gate felt misled and guided. It felt like the story was giving me only parts of what I was trying to achieve. The choices mattered only for as long as the script wanted them to matter. This is not something I have felt before with other games, so I'm unsure how to feel about it. I just can't handle it. I'm used to brainless games where there are no choices to make, as well as games where every choice matters, or even games that trick you into thinking you have freedom of choice when in reality the game was just rigged from the start. But Baldur's Gate is a great game, and none of my complaints speak to its quality or the work of the creators. They should be incredibly proud of what they made, and I'm glad it found the success it deserved. But I couldn't finish it. I couldn't walk on its path without my mind screaming about how my choices were never what I intended them to be. At the end of the day, I just felt lost and heartbroken. Reading about the endings of Baldur's Gate, I felt that I did well to cut my losses when I did, since I doubt I would be able to handle what was coming after. I take my roleplay incredibly seriously. I become a character and I breathe their breath. When the world crumbles around them, it affects me just as much. When Good and Bad became just a blur in Fallout 4, I hid in a basement for days, doing nothing but upgrading my robots until I came out tired enough of making my own choices to become a fanatic of the Brotherhood and fight for them with a blind trust, until I was told to kill the man I loved, that is. When in Cyberpunk Somi told me there was only one cure reserved for her, I cried. I cried and told her I did not care. She was young, she was stupid, she had a second chance in life. I already had mine. I got her on that flight and never looked back. I just slowly got my husk back home to my worried girlfriend and cried more, losing myself in her arms. Baldur's Gate did not fail me. The story did not fail me. The characters did not fail me. The roleplay did not fail me. My last character was a middle-aged half-elf, a teacher of the magic arts, a woman who had seen the world already and had experienced her fair share of pain and tragedy. She was more comfortable with putting her flesh in front of an axe than watching more people suffer. And yet, every step of the way, my ability to fail to make choices caused suffering and death time after time. What made me quit Baldur's Gate was that the world and the ease with which you can miss important choices were just too much for me to bear. Until the next time.